You've gotta help me. Okay. What's wrong? Everything! I am constantly stressed and anxious about everything. I feel depression looming over me like a dark cloud of inevitability, and I can barely find the motivation to do much more than basic self-care and assignments. I feel awful always, and like I am a massive failure. Life is hard, and I don't know what I'm doing. The thought of being an adult, entering into the adult world, it terrifies me. And I'm worried that I've chosen the wrong course for my life. I mean, I had to choose what course the rest of my life would take at 18. I was a child, barely a legal adult, and now I'm looking into grad school, and I again have to make a choice about the rest of my life at 21. I'm always changing as a person, and my likes and interests will probably change over the next couple of years. How do I know what interested me at 18 will still interest me at 27 or 35 or 42? What if I get stuck in a job that I hate? How can I know for certain if I'll be able to land a job where I can afford to take care of my basic necessities? And that's not even getting into all of the issues of the world that I can do absolutely nothing about. How do I deal with all of that? Sometimes bad stuff happens. Really? That's your advice? Oh, sometimes bad stuff happens and the world sucks. Sometimes the world does suck. And there's not anything we can do about it. Grappling with the evil in the world, that's something people have been trying to do for thousands of years. I mean, genocide and war that kills millions and bigotry and hate crime. How do you deal with all of that? How do you deal with the fact that you, as an individual, can do nothing about it? It's not easy. But you have to learn to just live with stuff. It's all you really can do. And that's not even getting into the fact that you are living through one of the worst economic crises in recent history while entering into the third year of a global pandemic, while we all hurtle towards a point where the Earth is too far gone to fix the climate. These are big things. Really hard things. And that's on top of all of the normal stuff, like classes and clubs and internships and a job. And no one really teaches you how to adult. You aren't really taught the basics of cooking or sewing or how to manage money or taxes or how to manage a home or any other adult stuff. I still don't know what the hell a mortgage is. It's no wonder you're feeling stressed. It's no wonder you're feeling burnt out. You're not a failure, you're normal. Lots of other people are going through the same thing because we are all human, and there's only so much a human can handle. So, what can I do? Well, the first thing you have to do is be gentle with yourself. Oh yeah, a lot of good that'll do. That doesn't actually do anything to help me get my crap done, it just makes me hate myself a little bit less. And if simply not hating yourself is the goal that you have to work towards, then it's a good goal. If just getting out of bed and drinking water is the goal that you have to work towards, then it's a good goal. All of us are at different points in our life, with different measures for success. Just because you don't live up to what someone else has defined as success doesn't mean that you are a failure. And just because you don't live up to what you have defined as success doesn't mean that you're a failure. It probably means that you need to reassess what you are capable of handling right now. You need to understand that you are going to fail. You're going to drop the ball at some point. It's simply inevitable. But that doesn't make you a bad person or a failure. It makes you human. So yes, be gentle with yourself. Be kind and forgiving with yourself. And if those things are hard, then work on that as step number 1. Okay, and then what? Unfortunately, there's no spell or magic potion. I can't wave my hands and snap my fingers and make it all go away, make it all easy. These are big problems stacked on top of a lot of small problems. Sometimes you just have to take it one day at a time. Sometimes you have to take it one task at a time and do what you can. But you also have to remember that you can't do everything. You can't care about everything, and that includes the problems of the world. Sometimes you have to just not. You have to focus on you. But isn't that irresponsible? Isn't that selfish and apathetic? I mean, how will anything change if we're all just looking out for ourselves? I mean, we have a responsibility to try and make the world better. You have a responsibility to yourself. You have to look out for yourself and your own best interests and your own mental health. You can't do anything if you give yourself a mental breakdown or send yourself spiraling into a major depressive episode. But here's the thing. Nobody can care about everything. Even someone who had no other issues or concerns wouldn't be able to handle the weight of caring about everything wrong with the world. That would crush anyone. So you can't put that expectation on yourself. Sometimes you have to choose just one thing and stick with it. And sometimes you have to choose yourself and yourself alone. And that's okay. If the world is too much for you right now and you have to choose you, that doesn't make you a bad person. It makes me feel like a bad person. Just like not being able to do all the tasks I want to do makes me feel like a failure. I know. It's hard. Convincing yourself that it's okay to just focus on yourself is hard. Convincing yourself that not being able to stay on top of everything is okay is hard. That is why you have to be kind and gentle with yourself. You have had expectation piled on top of you for your entire life. It's difficult to break out of, especially once you start doing it unfairly to yourself. And that's it? That's all that can be done? Be kind to myself and try not to put too much responsibility on myself? For the most part, yeah. I mean, of course, there's all the different tips and tricks that you can do for taking care of your mental health. Exercise, go outside, eat healthy, drink water, etc. All the practical things. But if you're struggling to just keep up with that stuff, beating yourself up and calling yourself a failure isn't going to help you. If being proactive about your mental health is hard, you can't tell yourself that you're worthless and a massive failure because you can't manage to do what everyone else is doing. Reframing your mindset is important, but difficult. Reaching out to others is also really important. When you tell people about what a hard time you're having, they'll often say that they're going through the same thing too. And sometimes you're too close to a situation. Someone else may be able to provide perspective about the situation you're in and be able to see what a big thing it is that you're dealing with. Sometimes we downplay the massive stuff in our lives because we've been dealing with it for so long. We feel like it should be tiny, like it shouldn't be that big a deal anymore. But it is. No matter how long we deal with something, that doesn't change the fact that it is really big. We sometimes just get a little better at handling it. That's all good advice, but it still doesn't seem like enough. That's because you're still wanting something that will cause immediate change. You expect a shortcut, thinking there's got to be something out there that can cut to the heart of the matter right away. Unfortunately, there isn't. When it comes to problems like these, there are no shortcuts. There's all the little things you can do that add up over time, but that's what you have to give it. Time. And things may get worse. Despite your best efforts, you may keep sliding backwards. No matter how hard you try to get better, you may end up getting worse. And that's okay. You're still dealing with a lot, and sometimes things have to get worse before they can get better. If that does happen, be nice to yourself. Struggling doesn't make you a bad or failed human. Your mental health and inability to cope with everything that's going on around you doesn't make you a bad or failed human. It simply makes you human. Okay. Anything else? Cry. What? Cry. I mean that. Cry. Whether it's just a little weeping or full-on sobbing, cry. Crying is your body's way of releasing all of the emotions, and you have a lot of emotions in you right now, which, again, totally understandable. Sometimes you just need to let it all out. It acts as a kind of reset button. It doesn't necessarily make the situation better, but you usually feel better once you've given your body a chance to just get it all out. It doesn't make you weak or a wussy or whatever other crap society has tried to tell us about crying. Again, it makes you human. Emotions make you human, and it's actually very healthy to release them and not keep them all bottled up. So, cry. Thanks. Of course. We're all struggling in this together.